So the next vitamin is our vitamin B6, and so B6 vitamin is basically used to collectively represent three compounds. Namely, what are those compounds? They are pyridoxine, pyridoxal, and doxamine. Okay, pyri is common here. So here doxine, doxal, doxamine. Okay, so this is a vitamin B6 in the form of pyridoxal. So okay, so these vitamin B6 compound are like pyridine derivative. So there are, therefore they are called as a pyridine derivative. They differ from each other in the only structure of the functional group attached to this fourth carbon. Okay, fourth carbon in the pyridine ring. You have this pyridine ring. So pyridoxine is a primary alcohol. I think I have this structure. See, so they differ in the this. Do you see? So if you have this pyridoxal, means you have this aldehyde form, while doxamine means amine is mostly present, is an amine form. Do you see this amine form? And this glucoside form. Okay, so it's so basically if you see this pyridoxamine is mostly present in the plant. It is present in the plant. And pyridoxal, okay, this pyridoxal and pyridoxine is present in the plant, sorry. Okay, so they are found in animal sources. Okay, so pyridoxine can be converted to pyridoxal and pyridoxamine, but they like it can be interchangeable. Okay, so most active form is coenzyme pyridoxal phosphate. It is also called as a PLP, okay, pyridoxal phosphate, the coenzyme of vitamin B6, which is found attached basically to the epsilon amino group of lysine in the enzyme PLP. Okay, so this is the active form of vitamin B6, that is the PLP, and this PLP can be synthesized from the three compound. That is, if you take pyridoxine, pyridoxal, and doxamine together, so this B6 is excreted in urine as a 4-pyridoxic acid. The different form of B6 and their inter relationship, like there is a long pathway, like all these can interlink together by using enzymes such as, if you have pyridoxine, so or pyridoxamine, in presence of kinase enzyme, pyridoxamine phosphate can be formed, which can be further get converted into pyridoxine or 4-pyridoxic acid. Okay, even pyridoxal in presence of enzyme kinase and ATP, which gets converted into ADP, forms pyridoxal. Okay, so what is its stability? And modes of degradation. So thermal processing and storage of foods can influence the vitamin B6. Chemical changes can involve interconversion of chemical forms of vitamin B6, thermal or photochemical degradation, or irreversible complexation with proteins, peptides, amino acids. All of these together can cause. Okay, so all vitamin B6 that we saw are susceptible to light induced degradation, which can cause losses during food processing, preparation, storage, and also during analysis. So the rate of non-photochemical degradation of vitamin B6 is strongly dependent on which form, like whether it is doxine, doxal, amine, what form, what is the temperature of processing, whether it is pasteurization temperature or whether it is high temperature, whether it is for short time, whether it is for long time, what is the pH, whether it is acidic pH or alkaline pH, and obviously the presence of other active compounds like presence of amino acids, presence of reducing sugars and proteins, and all these factors matters a lot. So bioavailability of all these forms appear to be very good, and all of them efficiently absorbed and effectively function in vitamin B6 metabolism. So skip base forms PL, PLP, PM and PMP, which dissociate in the acidic environment of the stomach, and therefore it exhibit a very high bioavailability. Now, what are the functions of this pyridoxal pyrophosphate or this enzyme? So, it acts as a coenzyme. Do you see, for more than 100 reactions involving nitrogen compounds? So, amino acid metabolism called as a transamination. PLP or every amino acid would be essential. Okay. So pyridoxal, that is PLP, the coenzyme of vitamin B6, is attached to the epsilon amino group of lysine in the enzyme. Okay, and the PLP is closely associated with many metabolism of amino acid. You cannot just, there are so many reactions that are occurred because of the PLP. The synthesis of certain products such as serotonin, histamine, niacin coenzyme, all from the amino acid is dependent on important vitamin, that is pyridoxine. Okay, and then pyridoxal phosphate participates in the reaction such as transamination reaction, decarboxylation reaction, deamination, transsulfuration reaction, condensation so many reaction. For example, if you have this transamination reaction, okay, what happens in the pyridoxal phosphate? This pyridoxal phosphate is involved in this transamination reaction by transaminase enzyme, which converts amino acid to keto acid, and the keto acid then enter into the citric acid cycle, and these keto acid then gets oxidized to generate energy. Thus this B6 vitamin is an energy releasing vitamin. Okay, why vitamin B6 is called as a energy releasing vitamin? Because in this pyridoxal phosphate or the vitamin B6 form is involved very closely in the reaction called as a amino acid metabolism or transamination reaction. Okay, this in this reaction what happens, it converts the amino acid to keto acid, and this keto acid then enter into the citric acid cycle, and then this gets keto acid gets, once they enter into citric acid, gets oxidized to generate the energy. Okay, energy. Therefore this vitamin B6 is an energy releasing vitamin. Okay, it also integrates the carbohydrate and amino acid to form, this is called as a skiff base. Okay, so this transamination PLP, they react with each other, and with the amino acid they form the skip base. The amino group is handed over to PLP to form pyridoxamine phosphate, and therefore this keto acid is so he in the carbohydrate metabolism, also in neurotransmitter synthesis, like needed for formation of niacin from tryptophan. There are many immunity building functions that happen only in presence of this coenzyme. There are many multiple number of lipid metabolism. So this is like a reaction that I explained. So what is the occurrence of this vitamin in the food? Its recommended daily allowance for men is 1.7 milligram per day, whereas for women it is 1.3 milligram per day. So what are the best sources or the vitamin B6, which are the food that are rich in vitamin B6? Meat, fish, poultry, whole grains, breakfast cereals, peanut butter, additionally vegetable sources such as your carrots, potatoes, spinach, bananas, avocados, and the special beans called as garbanzo beans are also very rich in this. Okay, egg yolk I have not mentioned, but milk also is good source. Whole wheat, cabbage, roots and tubers are also good source. Okay, so if you look at this, oatmeal is a quite very good in this B6 vitamin. So consumption of 3/4 cup of oatmeal result into 160% of recommended daily requirement, whereas like flakes, cereal flakes, if you consume around 25%, or if you consume beans such as pinto bean, or consumption of pistas will also meet less than 50% of the requirement. And if you do not meet the dietary requirement through the food sources, the person may meet with the deficiency. So pyridoxine deficiency is associated with, again, a lot of neurological symptoms due to accumulation of tryptophan. I already explained this. Okay, accumulation of the tryptophan, neurological symptoms such as depression, confusion, nervousness, mental confusion, convulsions, like confusion lot of. So convulsions and peripheral neuropathy are observed in severe deficiency. In the previous vitamin also, there was a peripheral neuropathy that was observed. Okay, but this is observed in a severe deficiency of this vitamin, and these symptoms are related to decreased synthesis of serotonin. Serotonin is a biogenic amine. This is because of the serotonin, which is a biogenic amine, serotonin. Okay, or GABA, you must have heard somewhere in biochemistry, or GABA or norepinephrine or epinephrine. Okay, uh, and in children, B6 deficiency with like drastically reduced if the GABA production result into epilepsy. Okay, so it is related to synthesis of this amine, serotonin. So decrease also observed in the case of hemoglobin level. Okay, so therefore if there is a less hemoglobin, it is associated with the hypochromic microcystic anemia. Okay, there is a special anemia. It is because of the decreased hemoglobin level, which is associated with the hypochromic microcytic anemia, which is seen in the vitamin B6 deficient patient. And this condition occurs due to the reduction in the hemi production, or hemi synthesis is decreased. So the synthesis of niacin, the coenzyme, that is NAD plus and NADP plus from tryptophan, is impaired in the case. Okay, and when this is impaired, or synthesis of niacin coenzyme is impaired, there is a xanthurenic acid is produced in high quantity, and this xanthurenic acid is excreted in the urine, which serves as a index for measuring the deficiency of niacin. Okay, so dietary deficiency of pyridoxine is very rare, because lot of fruits, vegetables are rich in this. Okay, and also in addition to that, there is a drug induced deficiency, because there is a disease, and unfortunately India is a topmost country again for tuberculosis, and now of course the number of patients for tuberculosis are decreasing. But in the cure of tuberculosis, a drug is commonly given, which name is isoniazid. Okay, isoniazid. Okay, this drug is given to the patient of tuberculosis. It is called as a isonicotinic acid hydrazide. It is also called as a INH. I stand for isonicotinic acid hydrazide, which is a drug which is frequently used for the treatment of tuberculosis. So in this case, what happens, it combines with the pyridoxal phosphate. Okay, pyridoxal phosphate, and that forms into an inactive compound hydrazone derivative. And this inactive hydrazone derivative, what it does, it inhibit PLP. Okay, so initially it combines with the pyridoxal pyrophosphate. It forms an inactive hydrazone derivative which inhibits the PLP dependent enzyme. So the tuberculosis patients on long term use of this iso or INH or isoniazid, they develop these symptom of peripheral neuropathy, which response is because of due to the B6 or thiamine, this niacin deficiency. Okay. Further, there is one more drug which is used in arthritis, like rheumatoid arthritis. Again, in the olden people, and in India also, this is very common disease called as rheumatoid arthritis. A drug called as a penicillamine, which is beta dimethylcysteine. This penicillamine is given to the patients with rheumatoid arthritis, uh, and then this drug reacts with this PLP to form the inactive thiazolidine derivative, and therefore there is a deficiency. Okay,